FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. It is a Tuesday morning. It's time for our monthly visit with Rob Heinrich. He is the superintendent of the Indiana Area School District, joining us this morning in our conversation. Brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Yesterday, the Hempfield Area School District, they had students who brought guns to school and other students who turned them in. It turned into a very, very big event, and I'm sure that for you, when you hear of incidents such as that, particularly that near to Indiana area, that sort of perks your ears up, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Todd. It's a growing problem. Unfortunately, in America, it's one of the biggest things that we have to face on a daily basis in schools is student safety and staff safety, and it's always on our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure there are lessons to be learned, and maybe you study what the response was and how school officials dealt with it. But it's very heartening that this was called to the attention of the school authorities by other students who did things the right way. It seems like they didn't panic when they saw the guns or anything. They just simply went and they told the nearest teacher or authority that they could, and they let them handle it.
Correct, and and student information is the number one way that we can fight dangerous situations and keep people safe. We actually ourselves have had a couple of situations this year where students recognized the dangerous situation and reported it to authorities, and that's how. And safety is everyone's job. We say that all the time. If you're waiting for people to keep you safe, you're part of the problem. So when you see something, say something. That's why we have that Safe to Say app. There's 3 different ways that students can report something anonymously, either an app through the phone, there's a 1-800 number they can call, or they can go online. Students, parents, community members, anytime. We'd rather, if you're not even sure, we'd always rather you report it than risk it.
Yeah, absolutely. In conjunction with this end of our conversation is the fact that this is a month on which we pay special attention to bullying. It's National, what is it, Unity Month?
It's Unity Month. It's Bullying Prevention Month in October. It's a time when we try to make sure we focus on the little things like being kind to each other and smiling first and being welcoming to all. So especially at Indiana, we have our motto this year is we want to be a place where everyone belongs, not just fit in. Right? We don't want you to have to change who you are to fit into our expectations. We want you to truly belong. We want you to feel welcome in our schools, feel safe and appreciated, and feel that you have value. Yeah. So all of our schools will be doing activities this month to focus on building that kind of environment.
A few years ago, Indiana area actually instituted something for student conduct at sporting events and being welcoming to fans of other teams, being respectful to the teams and to the officials and everybody. And I know that was a very successful program, and you were very proud of it as a district of the way the students responded to that.
Oh, 100%. And this year we also passed an athlete code of conduct and a parent code of conduct at sporting events too. So, we want to lead by example. We want to be always be respectful and be welcoming and friendly, and be the better person, be that model for others to follow. So, for Indiana, we're going to be leaders. We need to set our best foot forward.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little business. Indiana Area School District, of course, the school board dealing with the. Hang on a second. The school board is dealing with the Eisenhower situation, and bids have been awarded or have been sought.
They have been. The bids are in and have been accepted by the school board, so we're very excited to say that we're going to be breaking ground on Eisenhower very, very soon here and finally get that project moving forward. So all the bids for all the work that had to be done came in. They came in slightly over budget, but nothing too crazy like we've seen in other school districts. So the work is going to move forward here. We're going to get a work permit here, and we'll get going.
It's interesting, isn't it, how many different versions of renovations with every school project have to be gone through, because you're never certain of the funding. You're never certain of exactly what you can do with the amount of money that you have available, and sometimes it requires going back to the drawing board more than once.
Unfortunately, you're right. I wish we had a blank checkbook and we could do everything we wanted and build the world's greatest school, but you're right. We always have to redesign and redesign and redesign them. We will even have to redesign what we have on the table now, because there's always things that we run into, problems that we run into. So, but we're happy with what we have here. We think it's going to be a really nice school when it's all said and done. And it's we're just excited to get it moving forward.
What are some of the more attractive elements to this new renovation at Eisenhower?
Well, we're putting in a whole STEAM room. It's going to be focused on science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. That's what STEAM stands for. That's going to be kind of like a maker space for students. It's not going to be a traditional classroom. It's going to be a lot of students moving around and working on group projects, and a lot of interesting technology that the teachers will be able to bring. So there's a lot of hands-on activities there. That's what I'm most excited about. Yeah. That and the new library. It's going to be more a technology-based library. So those are exciting components for me, anyway.
10 years ago, if you had said we're putting in a steam room, they'd say, what do they need a sauna for?
Right.
At an elementary school. It's a different thing. One of the other things within the school district that I know that more than one person is excited about is the playground at East Pike. The wonderful playground facilities that are being put in at East Pike that will really make it a great advantage for those who have disabilities or other challenges.
Yeah, I mean, the playground is being built as we speak. They're putting the drainage in and the base in. And we had that community group that's raising all that money for it. And it is. It's an inclusive playground. It's an adaptive playground. So all students, regardless of their situation, will be able to participate and have fun with their friends. So it'll be wheelchair accessible. It'll be, there'll be a variety of activities around the periphery of the playground as well. So everyone can actually, join in the fun and have a proper recess. So very excited about that. I'm very thankful for the support from the community. We got a great donation from Halliburton Foundation. Bailey Adams and her team have just been relentless out there raising money for this project. So much support from the community, and we're overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing project, and the way that the community has embraced it is it's a pretty gratifying thing.
Absolutely. No, I mean, almost as gratifying as watching those kids have fun on it. That's the only thing better.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. So obviously, as a school district administrator, you're concerned about budgeting, and there are some interesting things coming up, including the school funding formula hearings that are scheduled. That's something else that you want to pay a lot of attention to. I'm sure that you have your thoughts on how the legislature might come up with a funding formula that is going to be better and more adaptive to school district needs. But these two hearings that they have scheduled are pretty important, aren't they?
Absolutely, Todd. I mean, if to bring your listeners up to speed, there was a lawsuit that said that the legislature of Pennsylvania had underfunded the schools, and the schools always thought that they were underfunded by the government. However, the findings said that they were not only underfunded, but significantly underfunded. Mm-hmm. And now they're having hearings about what educators feel might be the best way to solve this problem. And it's in the hands of the legislators. They have to come up with a funding formula that makes sense for not only the rural schools like us, but also the inner city schools in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And it's difficult for them. They have a really tough job on their hands because what works for Philadelphia might not work for Indiana, Pennsylvania. And we have to make it work for everybody. So they have a lot of work on their hands, but I trust that they're going to get it done and get us the money that we need to keep these kids safe and secure and in a great learning environment.
Well, that's an interesting aspect of the whole educational experience now is it's safety first,
100%.
And then the education of the children. While that is of very high importance, keeping them safe and making them feel safe, is a part of the learning experience. If they're not feeling secure when they're there, if they're not feeling welcome and safe, then they're not going to learn as they would.
Absolutely. Safety comes in many different ways. There's physical safety, there's emotional safety. The students need to understand where they're going. They have all of those things, that they're going to have their needs met, whether it's physical needs, emotional needs, food needs, shelter needs, all of those things that they have to have taken care of before they can operate at their highest levels. And all of those things cost money. So this funding formula is really not about, paying teachers more necessarily, but it's about making our schools safer too. All of those things cost money. And, so this funding formula is very important to everybody.
Yeah, I'm always interested as well in the extracurriculars and how we bring people and welcome people into different school districts. We send our children out to other school districts to attend and participate in sporting events. There's a security element there that has to be followed. You have to trust that the other school district is going to do well in their security to keep everybody safe, just as you do your best to keep everybody safe. That's a big part of the extracurriculars, because then they get to actually enjoy the sport that they're playing. And Indiana has had some great successes on the playing fields here recently. How about the hockey team last night? Huh?
Yeah, great start to the season there. We're excited. Yeah, them the tennis stars.
Yeah, how about
for
that?
The first time we have two groups of doubles going to the Whitfield finals and the state playoffs. So that's exciting for those girls. Golf season just ended yesterday, unfortunately, but those guys did great as well. So, and we're having a lot of success.
Well, they still have the team competition for the golf team, so they're still alive
right.
for that.
That's a good point. Yeah,
still alive for that. But yeah, how amazing is that you've got the section title being decided between two Indiana teams?
Isn't that great? It was really exciting, and Matt Neal has done a great job building that program up, and those ladies, and Anna Buterbaugh, Tess Kaczynski, Kate Lehman, and Eve Kazneski. I'm sorry. Just they shocked the world and ended up playing each other in the finals. And it was one of those where it really didn't matter who won at the end, which is nice for the Indiana team.
Good fun stuff. All right, so the extracurriculars go on, and pretty soon we'll be talking about the winter sports. But all of those things happen. Academics, of course, that's the core of what a student goes to school for, and I know you're very proud of what's going on in the classrooms too.
100%. We had our academic meeting last night. We're working on our MTSS program at our system at the junior high, seeing some success there. Everybody's getting into the swing of things, into the groove. We're here halfway through the first 9 weeks already. It's amazing how fast it goes, but it's a nice time to get out and look at the classrooms and see the amazing things our teachers are doing.
Yeah. Now, you've been at the school district for a while, but this is your first full year at the helm and sitting in the superintendent's office. So for you, what's it been like for this first month of school?
It's been interesting. It's been a whirlwind for sure, but I learned a lot. Mike Vukovich taught me a lot. I didn't realize and appreciate how much he taught me while he was here. So the transition's been relatively smooth. We've had our challenges. Every school does. That's why people like me have a job, right? So to solve those problems. Mm-hmm. But we're no worse for the wear, and I think we're better off for a lot of these things. Every time we have a problem, we try to turn it into an opportunity. That's the way we approach things, and I have a great team of individuals over there that help me on an everyday basis, and we get through it. We've been doing it okay. Good things happening in the Indiana School District.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob, for coming in. We appreciate that. Anything folks need to know about upcoming events?
No, it's also National Principal Month. Thank your principals, your building principals. They have tough jobs too, so we couldn't do any of this without them. So that's another.
Speaking of which, the operational principal position that was filled last week. How does that work within the school district? Because it's more than one building responsibility.
Correct. This principal is going to be helping out at the junior high and with Horace Mann. Mm-hmm. And we're really excited about Krista Templeton. Krista Templeton comes to us from Northern Cambridge. She was the middle school principal there. She's transitioning to our buildings here very soon. She's going to come out and meet with us here this week. And she seems to be a very dynamic and energetic leader and a very intelligent, hardworking, and driven individual. So they have a tough job, for sure. She does have a tough job to support the junior high and to support Horace Mann, but it's not impossible. Mm-hmm. It's just basically grades 4 through 8. So that's what that principal has to do, and is work with Dr. Minnick and Mrs. Eisenman to make sure that those two buildings are operating efficiently, safely, and smoothly.
Yeah. Well, she's got a good team around her.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for the visit. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Todd. It's always a pleasure.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. Josh in the newsroom. Actually, I think Jake in the newsroom coming up in just a couple of moments. And then our next half hour, Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Shaw will be visiting with us with IUP Homecoming Weekend happening this weekend. Of course, there will be much to talk about with him. It's Indiana in the Morning, always presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Time to be first. Member FDIC. CBS Sports with Boomer.